All right, guys, we're going to learn how to use the brand board template Hoply that I've provided for you guys today to demonstrate how a logo can be used in a brand. All right, so designing a logo is all good and great, but what's great about a brand board is it kind of shows the client like, hey, look, this is how you can actually apply the logo. So first things first is you need to download the Hoply brand folder. All right, and once you download it, to open it, gotta find where mine is. There it is. You're going to double click on the folder, and then you're going to double click on the Hoply brand board template and double click on the AI Illustrator file to open it up. All right, here we go. And it's all gray, and essentially your task now is to fill this in, all right? Now, I didn't design this. This is Hoply brand board, someone made it, but it's what we're going to use. So it tells you where to put your things, all right? Now, what I would do is open up the file where you've been building your design, your logo, because then what you can do is you can just copy and paste your designs into the brand board template, all right? So I'm just going to open mine up. Okay. So here is my design for Eager Beaver. So I would just copy this, Control C, and I would go over to my brand board and I would paste it. All right. Now, something to know is we have these boxes to put your designs. I would be very conscious to make sure that you are making use of the box space. We don't want our design to be too big. So I wouldn't want my design to be so big that it's touching the corners. I don't want that. We want to give our designs plenty of room. All right. And so the top one is where I put the regular logo. All right. But oopsies, forgot this down here. Oh, and actually, let me show you this real quick. So before you copy and paste your logo in here, make sure that your design, you grab it all and you go object, expand, okay, because that basically releases it all to shapes. That way, when you're scaling, things don't change. So I'm going to pop it back in here. Okay, there we go. Scale it. All right. Okay, so then these two middle boxes are for kind of like your different types of color experiments with the logo. Now, for me, this is over here what I made. I wanted to show what my logo would look like on two different colors, but then I also wanted to show the word mark because I have basically the icon, which is just the beaver in the chair, and then I have the word mark, okay? So you can decide, you could just have maybe your icon or kind of one part of your design in one, and then maybe your word mark in the other. And of course, I'm going to scale this down because I want it to be kind of like a nice fit. Okay, and of course, we want it to be centered as much in the box. It would be kind of weird if it was right here. I want it to be pretty centered. Okay, now notice I haven't changed any of the colors from this template yet. Okay, I'm going to do that because down here is where I'm going to put in the colors for my brand. Now my brand, Eager Beaver, originally they had like a red, but I realized I kind of wanted to push into the kind of like beaver, kind of woodsy brown aspect. So I decided my color palette was going to be like a charcoal black, this like kind of brown, this gold color, and then a cream color. Okay. So what I like is you can play and experiment. So you can just click on these different circles and pick different colors. And what I usually like to do is I like to put the dark colors on one side and then slowly have them transition to the lighter colors. I would say for most brands, you want between 3 to 5 colors, okay? So you could delete a color and you can just have 3 if you want and just kind of move them to the center. Remember, we're holding down Shift and clicking to grab multiple shapes at a time. For the color name, so let's say I wanted to keep this blue. If I double click on, let's see, up here, the color panel, this is the hex code, all right? So hex code is kind of the universal code for a color. So I can just click copy and I can go to the color name. I can click and then double click to be able to change what it says here. And I'm going to click pound. And then I'm just going to go Control V to paste the hex code that I copied. So this is the hex code for that blue. Okay. Now, if this is the blue I want to use, then up here, I might start changing the colors of my logo and such to reflect that. All right. Now, what I notice is when I click on my beaver and I click on my text, see over here how the question mark, basically my computer is unsure of what colors I have going on here. So what we need to do is grab everything, and then I'm going to click the paint bucket tool and click. And that makes it like a coloring page. And I can click I to grab this blue I had selected, and then click back on the paint bucket tool, and I can color this in the color I want. Okay. So this is kind of annoying to do, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. So I might just drag here. There we go. Now I had a problem because it filled in this O, but that's okay. I just go over to my fill and turn that off and take that color out of the O. Load this back. I'm gonna go ahead and just drag to fill that in. And yep, it filled in the B, but that's okay. I'm just gonna turn off the color and click on the B. Awesome. And then let's say I'm just going to pick, maybe I have, and this is not the color I end up choosing, but I'm just going to show you, maybe I have like a red for the middle and maybe I keep this white. Maybe those are the colors I've decided to use. So I need to make sure all the colors I'm using in this brand board are the colors that I have here. So let's say I grab the background here for the main design, and I'm going to click I, and I'm going to grab that white color. But then maybe here, I want to show what it looks like if it's on a red background. Okay, if it's on a red background, what color do I want the beaver to be? So I think it would make sense that it stays blue. So I'm going to grab my paint bucket and click to activate it. I'm going to click I to grab that blue color and pick it up. And then I'm going to color in this blue. There we go. Okay. Now, something you might notice here, I have an outline here, all right? So this is something that a lot of designers do, especially if you don't want something necessarily to be turned negative. So let me see. Kind of a no-no in design is taking an icon and just turning it the opposite color and saying, there, look, that's what it looks like on a dark design, right? This is kind of seen as unprofessional. We don't like to do that. So instead, what we like to do is we like to give an outline to your design, and that outline kind of acts as a barrier. That way, like, what is the dark colors of your logo? They stay dark and the light colors stay light. We're not going to inverse our logos. So how we do that is this. You're going to grab your design. You're going to make a copy of it. All right. And this could be for your text or your icon. We're going to go to Object Path, Offset Path. All right. And basically you just want to see that it makes a little border around. This is too thick. I'm going to make it only like a 5-point border. And I want to make sure that it's a round border for me. There we go. Click OK. And so I don't really need any of this other junk. I just want everything to merge together. I want this to be basically a giant silhouette shape. So I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to go to my Pathfinder and I'm going to click merge. Oop, I got to click merge paint first. So that's my bad. If you see the merge paint, please click that and then go object expand. There we go. Now we can go over here and click the unite button and it'll merge it all. Okay, great. So this is all one shape. All right. Looks like down here something screwy happened, but that's okay because I can just come down here, grab my live paint bucket and click, color that in. There we go. And then I'm just going to grab that and find my Pathfinder tool again because I want everything to be clean. So I'm going to click this. Oops, got to expand it again. That's one thing that's annoying is if you have turned something into like a paintable object, then you always have to expand it before you do any other editing. So I did this because now what I'm going to do is I am going to turn this to be my light color. And I am going to grab my design and I'm going to go arrange, bring it to the front. put it on top of this, and I'm going to grab them both. And if I go over to my align panel, I'm just going to make sure that they are aligned perfectly. And it's in a way like you've made a sticker, basically. So if I wanted my background to be dark, I would do this rather than inverse it. This is going to be way more professional. All right. So we like this. We don't like this. All right. So no inversing, because that's not clean. That's not professional. Okay. So for experimenting with color, you might have to make a border around your design and kind of give it its different option for when it's on dark areas, okay? And you can do the same thing for the text, all right? Now, text, I would say, is easier to change, all right? So if I wanted a blue background here, then my text probably is okay white. And I just clicked white, and we see it filled in some of the letters. That's an easy fix. I just click on them. I can use my paint bucket tool or the shape builder and just hold down Alt and remove the color from the inside of those letters. There we go. So text is more forgiving, but for sure, don't negative or inverse color your logos, okay? Alrighty. So make sure you have the hex codes for your colors, and then down here, typography, you need to show me what fonts you used, all right? So for me, I'm going to go back to my workspace, and I'm going to find one of my active fonts here, and I'm going to see what font did I use. Looks like I used Eris Demi ITC. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to click on this second one. I'm going to click this big A, uppercase and lowercase a, and I'm gonna hold down Shift and click on the other set of letters here. And then I'm gonna go to the character panel and type Eris Demi ITC, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna figure out, okay, what was the font I used for the main header? It looks like it's called Nexa. So I'm gonna go back here, grab this guy, and type Nexa. Oop, clear all, there we go, okay. All right, and I'm of course going to make sure I change all this so it fits the color theme. All righty. Now you might be asking, well, what about the pale thing behind the color palettes here? I would just take one of your dark colors, your light colors, and just give it a little outline. And then you can click on the background and you can change it to a color like that. We like everything to kind of feel like it's fitting in the theme. Now, I don't really like how this box of blue is merging with my colors box of blue. So I'm going to click on this box and I might give it an outline, or I might just make a little sliver box right here and turn that white, just so it breaks up these two boxes. Okay, and that's just visually, that's going to just look a little nicer. There we go. Okay, now design elements or illustrations, all right? So oftentimes companies will have special like patterns or designs or different icons that they'll include in the company. So over here, what I did is I included this like wood texture, all right? But you can have whatever you want. If maybe it's a coffee company that you did, then maybe you use your pen tool and you make, my little example things keep popping up. Maybe you make little swirlies or such that are kind of different icons that people can use. Now, if this is a little nerve-wracking to you, if you don't like the idea of designing the design elements, then I'm okay if instead of doing design elements, you just do more of the mock-up photography or mood board, okay? So what is the mock-up photography or the mood board? What it is, I basically down here want you to put images of what the company would look like. So that might mean you going on to Unsplash, which is our photo site that has really nice photos. And maybe you looking up kind of some products that the company might sell. I'm gonna look up furniture because mine's a furniture store. And I'm gonna try some kind of, to find some like rustic-esque furniture that I think is a type of furniture they would sell. Rustic furniture. Let me see, something. Maybe I kind of like this. I'll just put this and I'm going to download that. Okay. So this is going to be like a mood board. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a box and I'm going to make it a color so I can see it. And I'm going to just kind of place this box here. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to click this little draw inside button. And when I click that, basically it means whatever I add next is going to only appear inside that box. So let me go to my downloads. So there should be that little photo. Perfect. I'm going to drag and drop it. Oh, sometimes it does this. I hate it when it does that. So we'll do this a different way, actually, because he's being difficult. Forget the box. Just drag and drop the image you want. Good. Boop, boop, boop. It's pretty big, so you got to zoom out and scale it down. Alrighty. And I'm going to put it over here. And what I want is I want like a clean kind of like bricks, clean like build. So I can always click on this and crop it. And I think I will because I don't really care about the chair. I kind of want to focus more on this wardrobe. Good. I'm going to click apply. And that's one image. And if I want to change this crop, I can always double click and I can adjust it. All right. I'm going to make the background the white color we're using. And I'm just going to basically add other textures or other colors that I feel like are going to reflect the company. Okay. So this is basically the mood board for the company. Okay. So this should be a clean representation of how the logo is going to be used, what colors are okay to be used with the logo, and what fonts are okay to be used with the logo. When you're done with this, what I want you to do is you're going to save a copy as a PDF, Adobe PDF. Save this to your desktop. You're going to make sure you name it your company name. All right. And you're going to, perfect. Save it to your desktop and you're going to attach this into the assignment. All right. So we have our slideshow where we've been building our process, but I also want you to attach this because I plan on printing them. Okay. And this is kind of my real one, what it looks like so far. I like this one better. Something else is you can add more type. So any of these you can copy and move these things around. Okay. Alrighty. Good luck on your brand boards.